So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture with you can have your feet flat on the floor, about hips width apart, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is this a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just imagine your spine lengthening. Try and put some space in between your vertebrae. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. The head, the ears aligned with the shoulders as best you can. And put a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Take a nice deep breath. Now go to the crown of the head and relax and release any tension there. Maybe you can feel some sensation or not. And relax, relax your whole face, the forehead and the eyes, even your eyelashes, the back of the head. Relax the nose, the cheeks, the jaw, the throat, the back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax your throat and chest and belly and all of your limbs. Just allow a little bit of kind of softness and looseness to come into the body. And at the same time, trying to remain alert and aligned. So it's like it's kind of the effort of no effort. Is the term they use in that Tai Chi community. I think we could apply it here as well, meditation. So just be aware of all the sounds in your environment. Just allowing those sounds to be there, trying not to run off with the mind to go and investigate. And then notice what's arising in the mind this evening. Just allow all the thoughts to be there, without some kind of judgment or opinion or this is a good thing, that's a bad thing. Just take a step back and look at them all objectively and with curiosity. And maybe if there's something in there that's not super helpful, maybe you can just kind of put it on a nice white little fluffy cloud and just allow it. You blow it, or even imagine a dandelion just carrying it away with the wind. And really the trick is, once you've noticed you're down some kind of rabbit hole with a thought, and you kind of assessed that maybe where you're going is not reality, you just very gently disengage, bring yourself back. I think one place we allow our thoughts to start wandering all over the place is in the car. I think some of the people that come to my class at the YMCA have mentioned the car as a place where they tend to ruminate. So I don't know if that's something that you do, but one way I deal with that is to listen to podcasts or books. Rather than my own mind. So just try and be objective about what's there. And then we'll bring to mind all the people of our life. So you can start with these people that we love. We have these people in our life who are so important to us, we love very dearly. And then we have people that we don't like so much. And then we have our strangers. And just remembering they're all, they're all, no matter how we feel about them, according to karma and according to impermanence, that these relationships can change. They're interchangeable. And all these people are equal in their wish to be happy. They wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So we think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we start by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this, this purification process is basically a psychological one. And this is the main reason I have us to have a little look at what's going on in the mind before we start. So we create negativity with our mind, and equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with the first of the four opponent powers, which is regret. So we sincerely regret from the depths of our hearts anything we have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. And we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're relying upon his medicine, his methods to heal ourselves. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. Then we have this little section on compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who've harmed you, and we have compassion for them because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So we make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire being, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with this body in the form of inky liquid. And this just, it pours out of you and disappears into space. And there's not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've done to any living being with this body is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and inappropriate speech and and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting everybody to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So again, feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. We hear what comes out of our mouth. So next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So imagine you've walked into a room and you flick on that switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So imagine the same here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there is now no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is this purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy as we recite the mantra, this negative energy from our consciousness. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa savasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in our purification process. And it's really crucial. You know, we before we do anything, we need to decide to do it. So without this decision, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in more positive directions. So, you know, we just aspire and then we take action. So think of, first of all, just rejoicing, you know, in everybody's efforts for turning up here, all these different time zones. And then are not always convenient, you know, early, late, middle of the day. And then after you've rejoiced in your own efforts, then think how you could maybe make a small change in the way you go about your life that might be helpful for you and for others, that doesn't harm. Or even if there's something, because there's people that don't really do that much harm. You know, maybe there's just little harms that are, you know, maybe karmically difficult. So maybe find something that you know is a little bit harmful to either yourself or others, and maybe try and shine a light on it. The big part of this whole process is awareness, developing awareness. Because sometimes we don't know what it is we're doing until someone kind of points it out. Well, you're talking over me every time I speak. Things like that. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche used to recommend to meditate on emptiness. So we think in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So however you understand or know about emptiness, just try and place your mind there for a moment. We can think of all phenomena as just, not existing from their own side. Like the table you buy from IKEA. There is a picture of a table on the IKEA website, but when it comes to your house, it's in a box, folded up with a bunch of screws and very, very sparse instructions, I might add. And an offer of an assistant to come and help you for $70 an hour. Anyway. And you can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then we'll do our verses for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. Accomplishing all goals, fulfilling aims, completely free from wants of any kind, bereft of thought, a non-depleting source, the Dharma source, supreme beyond decay, enriched by merit, merit gathering, unique great wisdom, wisdom rich, aware of what exists and what does not, while the twofold gathering, eternal yogin, king of everywhere, the object and the mind of concentration, the master of intelligent reflection, for by oneself alone is he experienced, immovable, the ultimate beginning, the whole of the three enlightened bodies. Okay, let's just have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for the long life of all of your precious teachers. Okay, everybody, lots of love. Thank you so much for my hosting, whoever it was. Was it Shayla or Bill? Anyway, thanks, Shayla. And good night.